My girlfriend told me she needed space, and then posted vacation photos with her ex. I respected her wishes, changed the locks, and sold her car. When she came back, her key didn't work, and her parking spot was empty. I guess I should start from the beginning. It's still a little raw, not gonna lie. About 3 weeks ago, my girlfriend Emily, 28F, dropped a bomb on me over text. We'd been together for almost 2 years, living together in my apartment for the last 12 months. Things had felt a little off lately. Distant, sure, but not catastrophic. So when I got that message on a random Tuesday night while I was chopping vegetables for dinner, it hit hard. "Things feel complicated," she wrote. "I really need some space to think and figure things out. Please don't contact me for a while. I'll reach out when I'm ready." You know that hollow feeling that settles in your chest when you read something that instantly changes everything? That was me. I just stared at the screen trying to process it. Space? Out of nowhere? Still, I wanted to be understanding. I texted back, "Okay, Emily, take the time you need." And that was it. Radio silence. I didn't call, didn't text. She wanted space. Fine. I gave it to her. The next few days were a blur of confusion and hurt. I went through the motions, tried to keep busy at work, but every night the apartment felt emptier. I kept replaying things in my head, wondering what complicated really meant. Then came Friday night. I was lying on the couch, scrolling through Instagram, when a mutual friend's post caught my eye. It was a tag, Emily. Sun-soaked beach, palm trees, cocktails. Emily looking tanned, glowing, arm in arm with her ex, Jordan. The same Jordan who was supposedly ancient history. The caption said something like, "Living our best lives. Island getaway reunited." My stomach dropped. Space to think apparently meant tropical vacation with her ex. She didn't want distance to reflect. She wanted time to test drive a relationship that was supposed to be dead, while keeping me on standby as her safe option. I wasn't even angry at first. It was more like this cold clarity washed over me. She wanted space? No contact? Sure, let's make that official. Saturday morning, I called a locksmith. Cost me about $250 to change out both locks. Worth every cent. Her key was now just a souvenir. Then there was the car, and that's where things got practical. About 6 months back, Emily's old car had completely died. She needed something reliable for work. She's in social media marketing, drives to client meetings, that kind of thing. Her credit wasn't great, so I agreed to help. I bought a used Mazda CX-5, around $18,000. Everything, the loan, the title, the insurance, was in my name. She made payments to me, kind of, and I let her treat it like her car. Fluffy dice, pink steering wheel cover, all of it. But legally it was mine. So I grabbed the spare key I'd kept and drove it to a nearby dealership that buys used cars. Told them I was the registered owner and wanted to sell. They inspected it, offered about $16,500 pending a full check. I signed the preliminary paperwork and left it there. Took an Uber home, her parking space out front, empty. Her stuff, still here. I didn't toss it or anything. It's boxed up in the spare room closet. I'm not trying to be vindictive. I just want peace. She told me not to contact her, and I didn't. She told me she needed space, and I gave it, in every possible sense. Honestly, it felt weirdly calm, like something in me had clicked. I wasn't driven by rage. It was just clarity, logical. She made her choice. I was just following the rules she set. According to Instagram, her best life vacation lasts another week. I guess we'll see what happens when she comes home and finds out her key doesn't work and her car's gone. Update 1. Well, she's back. Showtime. It was last Tuesday night around 9. I was half watching some random show, trying to ignore the anxiety twisting in my stomach when I heard it. The jangle of keys outside the door. Then the metallic scrape of a key in the lock. A pause. Another scrape, faster now. Then pounding. "Ryan! What is going on? Open the door." Emily's voice. Annoyed, not panicked. Yet. I took a breath, kept calm, opened the door just a crack with the chain still on. She was standing there with her suitcase, sun-kissed and furious. My key isn't working. Did something happen to the lock? Yeah, I said. I changed them. She blinked like she hadn't heard right. You what? Why would you do that? You asked for space and no contact, Emily, I said evenly. I gave it to you. Permanently, her face twisted, confusion morphing into anger. What are you talking about? I just needed some time. You can't just lock me out. I looked at her, the tan lines, the little beaded bracelet she definitely didn't own before, and said, saw the vacation photos with Jordan. Looks like you figured things out. For a moment she froze, panic flickering across her face before she forced a laugh. That was just a trip. It didn't mean anything. We're friends, I raised an eyebrow. Friends who go on island getaways while telling their boyfriend not to contact them? Got it. Ryan, don't be ridiculous, she snapped. Let me in. My stuff is in there. Where's my car? Her eyes darted to the empty parking spot like a radar locking on. Where's my car, Ryan? The entitlement in her tone was unreal, like she couldn't even imagine a world where actions had consequences. First of all, I said, it's my apartment. Second, it was never your car. It's mine, legally in my name, and I'm selling it. It's at the dealership right now. Her jaw actually dropped. You're selling it? You can't do that. I paid for that car. You made payments to me to use it, Emily. You didn't buy it. The title and loan are in my name. The sale's already in process. She shook her head like she could will this into not being real. This is insane. You're stealing from me. I'm calling the cops. She pulled out her phone, and I just shrugged. Go ahead, I said. Tell them your ex-boyfriend changed the locks on his own apartment after you asked for no contact, and that he's selling his own car that's legally registered to him. I'll wait. The phone wavered in her hand. For a second, I thought she might actually do it. But then her expression hardened into something uglier. You horrible person, she hissed. You planned this. No, I said quietly. You planned a vacation with your ex and told me to disappear. I just took you at your word. You don't get to use me as a backup plan. That's when another voice came from down the hall. Her sister, Brooke, who must have been waiting in the car. Emily? What's going on? Then she saw us and immediately took Emily's side. Ryan, why is she locked out? Emily wasted no time turning on the tears. He changed the locks, Brooke. He's selling my car. He's throwing me out. Brooke turned on me like a switch had flipped. Are you serious? After everything she's done for you, you just kick her out and sell her stuff? I kept my voice steady. It's my apartment, Brooke, and it was my car. Emily asked for no contact and went on vacation with Jordan. Check her Instagram. Brooke's face twisted. She needed space. You're supposed to support her, not punish her. Support her cheating on me, I said. No thanks. She made her choice. Now she can live with it. Emily crossed her arms. Fine. I want my things. Right now, not happening tonight, I said. Text me tomorrow with a time, and I'll have your stuff boxed up by the door. You can grab it, but you're not coming inside. You can't dictate that. I can, I said. My apartment, my rules. You wanted no contact? This is the new arrangement. Text me a time. Goodbye. I closed the door, locked the deadbolt. My hands were shaking a little. Adrenaline, maybe anger, but mostly relief. Outside, I could still hear them for a few minutes. Emily shouting, Brooke trying to calm her while probably egging her on. Then silence. A couple hours later, I got a text. Not from Emily, but from Brooke's number. Emily needs her things tomorrow at 10 a.m. Be ready. No, please, no thank you. Just a command. I replied, okay. Then I stayed up half the night packing her stuff. Clothes, shoes, books, the random junk she'd scattered through the apartment. Everything went into boxes, neatly stacked near the door. It felt like a deep clean, not just of the apartment, but of my head. The dealership called later that week. The inspection was done. Final offer was $16,350. A bit lower for tire wear, but fine by me. I went in Friday afternoon, signed the final papers, and walked out with a check. Deposited it immediately. It felt like closing an expensive, painful chapter. All that was left now was the pickup. I braced myself. If history had taught me anything, it was that Emily never left quietly. Update 2. The last week has been something else. The entitlement levels just keep climbing, and at this point it's almost impressive. Wednesday morning, at 10 on the dot, just like Brooke's text said. I'd been up early, coffee in hand, mentally preparing for round 2. Knock at the door. I open it, and standing there isn't Emily. It's her sister, Brooke, and their mother, Karen. Of course, Emily was apparently too distraught to come up herself. She stayed in the car, dramatic as ever. Karen didn't waste a second. Her eyes were already watery, though I'd bet money there wasn't a genuine tear in them. "Ryan," she started, voice trembling. "How could you do this to her?" "After 2 years, she loves you," I took a breath. Apparently not enough to avoid a vacation with her ex while asking me for space. Karen sighed like she was the victim. "It was a mistake. She was confused." "You should forgive her. And selling her car? That was cruel, Ryan. She needs that car for work." "It was my car, Karen," I said evenly. "Legally mine." And her confusion led her to betray the relationship. Actions have consequences. I opened the door wider, revealing the boxes stacked neatly in the entryway. "Here's her stuff. Take it all. Make sure you've got everything, because this is the only pickup happening." Karen wrinkled her nose, scanning the boxes like they were beneath her. "We'll need to check the closets in the bathroom," she said, already stepping forward. "Nope," I replied. "You can take what's here. I packed everything I could find. You're not coming any further inside." "Don't be unreasonable, Ryan," she snapped. "What if you missed something?" "Then that's unfortunate," I said calmly. "You can stand there. I'll stand here. Take the boxes or don't." That's the deal. They exchanged looks, clearly debating how far they could push it. But I wasn't moving. They started hauling boxes out, muttering under their breath the whole time. Took 3 trips down to the car. Karen kept up a steady stream of guilt-tripping the entire time. How heartless I was, how Emily was devastated, how I should make things right by compensating her for the car. I just repeated the same line. It was my car. Like clockwork, she'd circle back, unable to let it go. Once they were finally gone, the silence in the apartment felt sacred, peaceful, but it didn't last long. A couple hours later, the text started, this time from Emily herself. They alternated between tearful apologies, "I miss you, I made a huge mistake," and venomous threats, "You owe me for the car, I'll take you to small claims." The emotional whiplash was exhausting. I ignored most of it. Eventually, I sent one message and one message only. "Emily, the car was legally mine. Title, loan, insurance, all in my name. Your payments covered your use while you had it. Consider it rent." No further discussion. Then I blocked her, blocked Brooke, blocked Karen. Thought that would be the end of it. Of course it wasn't. A few days later, mutual friends started reaching out. People I mostly knew through Emily. Their messages all had the same tone. Judgmental, vaguely hostile. "Dude, heard what you did to Emily." "Kinda cold, man. Selling her car like that?" "Right. So she'd been busy rewriting the story. Now she was the poor, heartbroken girlfriend kicked out and robbed by her cruel ex. Conveniently omitted the vacation with her ex-boyfriend while asking for no contact part. I gave a short, factual explanation to a couple people I thought might actually listen. Mixed results. Some got it. Others clearly wanted to keep believing her version, the one where she was the victim and I was the villain. Whatever. People believe what fits their narrative. Then came the stunt. I got a call from my landlord's office yesterday. Apparently there had been an anonymous complaint about disturbances and loud arguments coming from my apartment. Claimed there was shouting, possible confrontations. My blood ran cold for a second. This wasn't random. This was calculated. I took a breath, called the building manager directly, and calmly explained everything. My ex had recently moved out after a breakup. There'd been one brief argument outside when she realized I'd changed the locks, and her family had been by for a supervised pickup. No disturbances since. The manager knew me, thankfully. He said they'd note it, but unless there were actual verified issues, it wouldn't go anywhere. I'm 99% sure the complaint came from Emily or Brooke trying to stir trouble. Petty and desperate. The final cherry on top came last night. A message request on Instagram from Jordan, the ex. Didn't even open it. Deleted, blocked. I don't need to know what he wanted. Probably to gloat or play mediator. Either way, not my problem. If anything, this entire circus just confirmed what I already knew. I made the right call. The tears, the fake victim act, the smear campaign. None of it made me feel guilty. It made me feel justified. Because this wasn't a one-time mistake. This was who Emily was, and who her family and enablers were too. I'm not sitting around plotting revenge. The real revenge is simple, letting them collide with reality without me there to cushion the impact. The apartment is peaceful again. The car's sold. The money's in my account, legally airtight. Her things are gone. Every number that could reach me is blocked. I even had a brief consult with a lawyer, just to cover my bases, and they confirmed I'm on solid legal ground. If any of them keep trying to harass me, I'm ready to go straight to a cease and desist. It's funny, I used to think closure meant reconciliation or forgiveness. Now I realize it's just clarity. Seeing someone's true character and choosing to stop letting it affect you. It hurts, yeah. It stings to know the person you lived with could be this manipulative, this entitled. But it's also freeing, because for the first time in a long time, the silence in my apartment doesn't feel empty. It feels earned. Final update. It's been about 2 months since Emily came back from her little space-seeking getaway with Jordan. The dust has finally settled, mostly because I refused to engage in her drama any longer. I wanted to share the final chapter, the real closure. For a while, she kept up her little smear campaign. Apparently, I was the controlling ex who ruined her life. Some mutual friends bought her sob story, the kind who thrive on gossip and surface-level loyalty. I let them go. If they could swallow her version without even asking for mine, they weren't real friends to begin with. The people who mattered, the ones who'd known me long before Emily, stood by me. They saw how blatantly she disrespected me, and they never once doubted my side of things. Then came her legal stunt. One afternoon, I received a letter from some bargain bin lawyer she must have scraped together money for. It demanded $10,000 for the value of her contributions to the car and emotional distress. The document was riddled with typos and nonsense legal jargon. I actually laughed reading it. Then I did the smart thing. Had my own lawyer send a very professional, very brief response. The reply included copies of the car's title, loan documents, and insurance, all entirely in my name. It reminded her that any money she'd paid went toward usage depreciation while she was driving it. In fact, if we wanted to be technical, she owed me money based on standard per-mile rates. We also included her original text where she asked for space and no contact, along with time-stamped screenshots of her beach photos with Jordan. The message closed with a warning. Any further false claims or harassment would result in me pursuing legal fees and a restraining order, considering her earlier attempt to cause issues with my landlord. After that, silence. Her lawyer probably realized she had no case and advised her to drop it. She couldn't afford a real fight anyway, not without me funding her life. Through the grapevine, I heard she crashed at her friend Brooke's place for a while. That didn't last. Apparently, Emily expected Brooke to bankroll her lifestyle the same way she'd relied on me, and shocker, Brooke got tired of it. Then there was Jordan. Predictably, he ghosted her once the vacation glow faded and real life came back. He got his fun trip. That was all he wanted. Next, she turned to her parents for sympathy and money. I imagine she got some, but not enough to sustain her influencer lifestyle. Word is, she's back in her hometown, living with her parents again, complaining to anyone who will listen about how I ruined her life. The irony? She's still completely blind to the fact that she destroyed it herself. Meanwhile, I've reclaimed my peace. My apartment finally feels like home again. I repainted the living room, replaced the furniture she picked, made it mine. The revenge wasn't loud or dramatic, It was quiet, deliberate, and absolute. All I did was respect her wish for no contact and let the consequences of her choices unfold naturally. She wanted space. Now she has endless amounts of it. She wanted freedom, and she got it, stripped of everything that freedom used to rest on. She took my generosity for granted, and the moment she betrayed my trust, it all vanished. Selling the car, the one she flaunted online while sunbathing with another guy, that was poetic justice. Watching her return to find her key useless and her parking space empty, that was the visible, tangible consequence of her actions. She didn't just lose a boyfriend, she lost the comfortable life she assumed was her right. And me? I lost someone who never deserved the love I gave. It hurt. It really did. But I handled it with logic, not rage. I protected my home, my finances, and my sanity. She thought she could play games and keep me in her orbit. She miscalculated. Now I have peace. She has silence. And honestly, that's the most satisfying ending I could ever ask for. Good riddance, Emily. I'm finally truly free.